I'll fix it in post.
There you go. Put me on the moon in post. Well, today's this very special, interesting episode. It is Florida Man Friday.
Such a good name. And it's so original.
It's got a nice alliteration to it. I really like it.
Yeah. We are both Florida men.
We are. Yes. And today we're going to talk about that. What we love and not so love.
Not so love, yeah.
And hate.
Yeah, just full on hate.
Just full on would rather die about Florida.
Yes. Only a couple things.
You know, my list, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
No. Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did you come to live in Florida?
Well, it all started when I was 5.
Transplant.
Literally. So, yeah. I guess I'm almost native. Moved down with the family at 5 years old.
Okay.
Used to live in Tennessee on 5 acres on the side of a hill, a large hill.
Sounds lovely.
It wasn't really a small mountain. It was a large hill.
Large hill, yeah.
And transplanted to Florida.
Okay.
Been here ever since. How about you?
I was born in Orlando.
Oh my goodness. You are native. You are one of the few.
Yeah. I mean, I moved away for a while, but I came back.
Welcome back.
It drew me back. I mean, I spent a couple of years outside of the U.S. for grad school, and then like 13 years in California, maybe. Something like that. 13, 14, something like that. Yeah.
That's a good amount of time away. So I never had that exodus. I'm kind of jealous. So how was it like leaving? Like, was it? And I know California is kind of similar, but not really.
Yeah, not really. I spent 2 years in college too in Northern California. And then after I went back for 11 years for a job in Southern California. Southern California was on the bottom of my list of places I wanted to end up. Like I had no interest in LA. I had been to San Diego. Had I been to San Diego, it wouldn't be so far down on my list. San Diego's nice.
Oh, got it.
But of course, I ended up in the greater Los Angeles area for 11 years. I was a little bit inland in the Inland Empire, which is an interesting place. I didn't like it that much.
No.
I mean, the job was great. The people I worked with were great, but the area, it had its pluses and minuses. I did spend a few years living in Claremont, California, which I loved.
Oh.
But I'm back here now, so I must not have loved it that much.
There's also a Claremont, Florida.
There is. Yeah. Different spellings.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure that's not the only difference.
so many Claremonts. So you haven't lived outside of Central Florida, right?
No.
As an adult?
Yeah. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
I've dreamt about it.
Really? Yeah.
Like, oh, it would be so nice to just leave. I kid. It would be interesting to, again, to just step away and then maybe come back. But
yeah.
So why Florida? I guess for me, that's a really quick answer. It's just about my family's here.
Mm-hmm. Same for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of my family's here. So
I think I guess it makes it rather convenient,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of nice things about being around family. If you didn't have family here, do you think you would be here?
That's a really good question. I probably not. It would not be the last place I would want to live, for sure. I think especially Central Florida, the Orlando area is very interesting. It's unlike a lot of places in that it's pretty new. For
Mhm.
the size of town that it is, which is a couple million, probably greater Orlando. It's
Yep.
really new, and it feels like it's like a teenager almost. Like it's figuring out what it wants to be. And there's something that's kind
Correct.
of exciting about being around a place like
Y-
that. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
almost every other place I've been, you know what LA is. You
Got
know
it.
what Sydney is, you know all these established cities have their identity. Orlando's kind of up in the air.
Eh,
So
maybe someday I'll figure it out.
yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna major in. It's kind of in that. It's kind of where it's at.
Gonna take a few classes here and there.
Right.
I would go on to say it would be a definite not for me,
Okay. Yeah.
just because the career that I have been in for a long time leans more on the tech side, and I might have ended up in Texas, New York, California, some of the more tech heavy areas. It just seems like that would have been a much better fit overall. There's like in the tech industry is really interesting. There's this one investor in startups. He talked about Florida, like he just deletes emails that he gets from people who are in Florida, automatically thinking they're not that serious about anything in Florida. So yeah,
Well,
that's kind of
that's almost fair.
it. I understand. I get it.
This is my theory as to why the Miami Dolphins have never won the Super Bowl in our lifetime.
And that's getting on to some years now.
Yeah, it's because it's the same for Southern California teams too. It's like if you leave or if you lose, it's like, oh well, let's just go to the beach. Like, what's the worst that could happen? We'll just spend the rest of the day at the beach.
They don't have the same luxury up in Foxborough.
That's right. It's not like being in Buffalo. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
December when the Bills lose, start a fire.
No wonder New England's won like 8 Super Bowls in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I know. Right?
So it does have that vibe of, it's just, like island time.
Yeah.
Where they talk about that in the Bahamas area and all that. So it's kind of like that, but peninsula. It's peninsula time. We're just taking things slow,
Just, yeah.
Nobody's in a rush to do anything.
That's true. Yeah. I think career-wise, I'm with you there. Like, there are definitely better places for me to be career-wise.
Yeah.
Not a ton going on in my industry here yet.
Yeah, exactly. I've struggled with that. It's like, and there's been people, and especially in the tech side, who've tried to build something going on in Florida. But it's when you have no money, that's when you have nobody pumping money in Florida. And
Right.
it's probably the same way with film.
Yeah.
Nobody's funding film in Florida necessarily.
Yeah.
Or at least, that industry kind of died out for whatever reason. It's really hard to get something off the ground. It's like, how do you get started?
It is. It's really tough to partner with people. It's tough to get funding. There aren't kind of people that have been around for decades making stuff who can help. Like there aren't that many mentors so yeah, it's tough.
That's a really good point. The whole mentorship scenario.
Yeah.
I've felt the lack of something like that in several times, going through, whether it's a startup or my consulting business, that type of thing, not having a strong group of a network. And maybe that's because I just don't like to do that stuff. Maybe they're all out there.
This is what I always blame myself for.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, it's just because I'm not good at networking. That's why. Maybe they're out there. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Let's stick with Florida's default on that. I think we can live with that.
We can do that.
So we know there's a lot of shortcomings about Florida. What actually do you like about living here?
I really like the environment. I like the water. The
Okay.
beaches and the springs like
Mm,
are my places to go and kind of refresh and get energy again.
nice. Yeah.
I really like that. We have, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but in kind of central and north central Florida, there are this giant network of natural springs. I think it's
Mm,
the biggest network in the world. And so all these places with the water shooting up out of the Floridan aquifer where you can swim, and those usually feed rivers that you can go kayaking, canoeing on, and it can be quite nice.
I feel like I'm just about to explore that entire side of Florida where I've done that a little bit
Hmm.
over my life, but not nearly enough. So the land that I bought we're like half a mile from the Wekiva River.
Mm.
And now I'm going to be able to like get a little paddle boat or kayak and just jump in that river any afternoon or morning that I want. That's going to be really interesting. I want to explore that side of Florida a lot more
Yeah,
because I think you're right. I think that is one of the gems that's here.
it really is. The Wekiva is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I've had, a few times I've been on it with not that many people around. I've seen bald eagles flying around.
Yeah.
One time had a black bear just jump in the river and swim across like right in front of us when we were canoeing. Of course, tons of alligators.
Oh my! I've got
Uh,
an alligator story for you.
Deer. We spooked a deer last time I was out there and it just started running wherever it could.
It's like knocking down trees, anything it could to
Yeah,
get out.
totally. Tell me your alligator story.
So a long time ago, you remember our classmate David Weaver?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Uh, we were canoeing because we would hang out when we were kids. We were canoeing with my dad, I think was in our canoe. So we just went on a canoe trip. I forget what spring it was. I
Mhm.
don't know if it was Wekiva or Rock Springs or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're canoeing along and we turn around a corner, and then on the other side of the river or the spring that we were on, there was probably, I mean, it had to be 8 feet plus
Wow.
alligator just sunning on the edge. I mean, like just acting like nothing was wrong, having a good old time, just like ready to destroy and wreak havoc at any point.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how they look.
Just how they look.
But it was big enough to be like, okay, let's pedal a little bit faster
Right.
and please don't tip because our life might depend on it.
Oh man, I was swimming once with my brother in Wekiva Springs, which is a big feeder for the Wekiva River, and it was late in the day. Nobody else was out there. We were kind of diving
Mm.
down to the spring, popping up. I dove down, I popped up, I turned around, like 20 feet away. There's like maybe a 6 footer just kind of hanging
Oh,
out in the spring, and they usually are not in the springs because there's so many people around.
oh.
That day there was. So we just kind of calmly went over to the side and got out. But
The gator's like, how you doing?
I've got a good gator story about my dad,
Oh,
if you want to go back a generation.
let's go.
So my dad used to be a sixth grade teacher,
Mm.
and he went on a canoe trip with a bunch of other teachers and the principal of their school and the principal's wife. And my dad was like a nature buff, so he was the person they would go to ask questions about the alligators or whatever.
Got it.
So the principal's wife says, "Is it safe to swim in this river?" My dad says, "Oh yeah, totally. It's too cold for alligators." She jumps in, she dives in from her canoe, pops up face to face with like a 4 foot gator, and she freaked out, totally freaked out. But the kicker, my dad kept his job.
That's good.
But the kicker is years later at my uncle's funeral, she got up at the end, like, would anyone like to say anything? She got up, said, my uncle was a great person. We loved him, loved his family. And then she goes, but his brother, Larry, and told that story and still clearly had not gotten over that.
This is like scarred for life
Oh
territory.
yeah, totally. Yeah. And it
I don't,
wasn't just
yeah.
like, it wasn't a joke. Like she was serious.
Wow. I'd have problems at that point getting back into the water,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so one of the things that I'm really starting to appreciate is the nature, and
Mhm.
this ties into this, the nature in Florida.
Yeah.
And so around the springs, especially in some of the wooded areas, my land is also next to like there's like 13,000 acres of forest on one side, and then you cross the street, and then there's like another 15,000 acres of forest.
Mm.
So I've got some really good access to just wilderness, essentially, like wild land. Nothing's on it.
That's nice.
Um, so I really am starting to get into this. I recently purchased a macro lens so I could take some more photos because I'm in between like a photo studio, and so I used to do a lot of portraiture work, and now I'm like, well, I'm kind of in the middle of the woods, so might as well take some pictures of nature.
Right.
And it has been so much fun. So I'm trying to explore more of what nature offers in Florida. And that's getting me out to more of these trails and hiking and the springs and all that stuff. And I may have accidentally purchased an R5 that
Uh-oh.
just came in the mail
Oh, wow.
for wildlife photography because the animal eye autofocus evidently is
Nice.
incredible.
Well, that's your weekend.
So I'm like, and tomorrow I'm getting an 800 millimeter lens.
Whoa, no way. That is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So Canon has this new 800 millimeter lens that's a fixed f11 aperture,
Okay.
which is not like the high end side. So if you're a high end wildlife professional, this is not really your lens. If you're
Yeah.
starting though, this is your lens because the
Yeah.
price is really good, and the reach at 800 millimeters, like I can be across the bank and take a really good photo of an alligator
That's incredible. Yeah.
with this lens. Yeah. So
That's going to be
yeah,
fun.
I'm really looking forward to this, and it's going to get me outside in nature a lot more to enjoy that side of Florida.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be amazing, except maybe in the summers.
That would be one of the things that I don't enjoy.
That's one of the downsides. We're just starting to come into summer.
Yes, and it's not the heat necessarily, it's the humidity.
Yes.
The humidity is off the charts in Florida.
It's difficult to do much outside when you're at like 94 and 70% humidity.
Yep.
It is just tough.
It feels like you're kind of swimming through the air, and
Yeah.
like after 5 minutes, yeah, it's hard to breathe. You start to sweat instantly.
Yeah.
If you want to be outside, you have to go early in the morning, as early as you can.
And that's when the humidity is the worst.
So there's no reprieve.
This is I usually end up jogging then when it might be like 78 or something like that, or 80, but it's like 90% humidity.
Oh, geez.
And it's just like, yeah, it's sweat dripping off the elbows hot.
Yep.
That's what I call it.
It's like this is where California and Florida differ quite a bit.
Yes. Now we had a lot in the Inland Empire. You have a lot of bad days too.
Oh, do you really?
You have usually a decent number of like 100 plus, 105, every now and then 100 in teens.
Ooh.
If you get out to Palm Springs, more in the desert, then you're looking at like 120s probably a few times a year.
Wow.
The humidity is nothing. Like there's no humidity. So when you walk outside, it feels like you're walking into an oven. It's like when you open up your oven, it feels like that. And like your eyeballs just dry. It's like dry up immediately.
Oh, jeez.
So it's just a different kind of heat.
Yeah.
But summers here are rough.
The other side of the equation, though, winters,
Amazing.
Fairly nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've spent probably more time outside in this last winter than I have in, I'm going to say 15 years.
Yeah.
And I've thoroughly enjoyed this last winter. Just the walks in the morning with, a nice brisk 65, 70 degree, humidity's low.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. There's very little bugs and stuff like that, like mosquitoes at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason why people still do and used to really vacation here in the winter, because it's nice.
That's right.
It's
Yep.
really nice.
Yep. This is the destination for the snowbirds. So when it's 3 feet of snow up north, they're all coming to Florida because there's no snow.
Yeah.
And you can still wear shorts for the most part.
That's right. That's why you have so many towns that are called like Winter Park.
Got it.
Right. Or what's the there's some frost, like no frost or something. I don't remember. Anyway.
Winter. Yeah. But that's definitely on my plus list. Is the winters are great, summers not so much.
Summers are tough. Now we're doing a big road trip this summer, so we're gonna spend a chunk of the summer in the Pacific Northwest, which is kind of like our winters.
Ooh, now you're talking.
A little bit warmer, but it's their dry season, low humidity, not super hot most of the time. So
Yep.
That's kind of ideal. If you can winter in Florida and summer in the Pacific Northwest,
done.
I mean, what else do you want?
Maybe what I'm missing is just a home in the other part of the world that I can leave summer.
Yes.
That's what I'm missing. Can work on that.
Yeah, we can do that. Oh, man.
Well, the other nice thing about Florida is its location when it comes to some of the other tropical areas that I'm really interested in visiting. So Costa Rica is like a 3-hour flight from Florida.
Yep.
There's some other interesting destinations in South America, relatively fast to get there from Florida.
Yeah. Caribbean is super close.
Caribbean, exactly. If you are a cruise line or you like cruises, Florida is also an amazing place because there's a ton of them that depart from Florida, head down to the islands, Caribbean, places in South America, all that stuff.
Are you a cruise person?
I haven't gone on one for a while. I have a buddy who's a juggler, and so he entertains on cruise ships. So he could bring a guest.
Nice.
And so I've been on I think we went on 3 different 7-day cruises.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, but it's been some time.
It's been a while.
So
yeah.
I've definitely done them, and it was great because they were free. Essentially, you had to pay for some of the other stuff, but so not bad. I mean, cruises are definitely fun. It's kind of like the theme parks. The theme parks for me are another plus minus thing.
It is, yeah.
Like the first few times, they're fantastic. They're fun.
Yeah.
But if you've lived here for some time, unless you just are absolutely,
super fan, you have to be like a
super,
crazy
yes,
super fan.
exactly.
Yeah.
Then you just don't go. Like, I don't remember the last time I literally don't remember the last time I paid to get into Disney.
I don't either.
It's been that long.
The last time was Disneyland, but my wife was working for Disney Animation then, so we got in for free.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. When did I don't even know. I might have gone to Epcot in the last decade.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I think their food and wine festival.
Yeah.
I remember going. That's probably been in the last decade.
But I don't know about you. Like we live at least on the other side of town.
Yeah.
Like they're 45 minutes, an hour from me.
Oh, easy.
The theme parks. So unless I have to, I don't even go to that side of town.
Oh, no, exactly. Yes.
Like I do stuff downtown and I rarely go past downtown unless I have to go to the airport.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Which is another minus on my list is the traffic.
Yes.
Especially on I-4. Now it's been under construction for what, ever?
Yeah.
I mean, when has it not been under construction, I guess?
It's been quite a while.
So it's the transformation coming up now seems to be fairly profound. Like I think it's going to actually change quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I-4 traffic, it's I-4 is the main interstate here in
Mhm.
Central Florida. And so everyone uses that to get north to south
Yeah.
in the city area. And it always had traffic.
I I used to agree with that position until I spent a decade in the greater Los Angeles area.
See, this is coming from somebody who's not lived anywhere else. So tell
Yeah.
me.
I mean, the worst was when let's see, one Friday I had to get from Santa Monica to the Inland Empire. It was a Friday afternoon,
Mm.
and to get from the coast inland, it took me over 3 hours.
Oh man.
So it
Like
can
how
be a
many
lot
miles was that?
worse. It's like 60 miles, maybe I was going.
Okay. But 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 or 4 hours, maybe. It was basically, it took all of rush hour.
I was gonna say that's like 20 miles an hour.
It
It
was,
was your average speed.
yeah, yeah, on the freeways out there.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it
Ouch.
was, yeah, it can be much worse. The big difference between like Orlando and LA, other than the number of freeways that are in LA, is that it's hard to take back roads in LA.
Mm.
Like I feel like in Orlando, you can take F4, but yeah, if you have to, like you can get around on back roads. In LA, that's a lot tougher.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. But the traffic can get bad here.
It can. I try to avoid I-4. I don't really make it even downtown much at this point. I'm
Yeah.
a little north in Lake County by those um by the springs and stuff that we were talking about. There's a new interstate being built or connected my way, which is the 429, and that's going to
That's right.
connect over to I-4 and kind of almost do a circle. Like you can connect several different roads to circle around the city
Mhm.
to finally have an appropriately
Big loop.
routed, yes, exactly, where you can get anywhere you want to go.
Yeah.
But that'll take another year or so to complete. It's just going to bring more people out my way, I'm guessing,
It is, yeah.
because you'll be able to get to downtown in 30 minutes and live kind of in the country. So
Yeah, it seems like out here, as soon as they build a big road like that, the housing developments follow shortly.
oh yes,
Shortly thereafter.
oh yes,
I wish that Orlando had good public transportation.
yeah.
I really miss having good public transportation.
I see. Yeah, everything's so spread out.
Mhm.
And I know we've got our Lynx bus system, but beyond that, I mean, I guess Sunrail.
Yeah.
How's that going?
I've never ridden it, but it's
I
like
haven't either.
one line of commuter rail.
Yeah.
It doesn't run on the weekends, so if you're going to any event, you can't take it.
I remember when it first started up, and it was just, it seemed like it was a train wreck. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it didn't really take off like they were hoping. I don't know.
I think you're right. When I was in Sydney, I relied on public transportation, and it was pretty good between the buses and trains. It was not bad, and I've
Nice.
luckily been able to go to a few European cities that it's just so great to get around.
That is, yeah, we are very lacking in that area. Is it because it's so spread out, or are those other places that you've been in as equally dispersed, but they just had better systems?
Most of the places are as equally dispersed, but you just have better
Okay.
planning and older systems in place.
Got it.
I know the bus system in Orlando is chronically way underfunded. Like I think it's the best they can do just to try and keep where they're at,
Oh,
let
wow.
alone get better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of priorities and funding.
I see. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this is Disney's town, so
It is. This is true.
which leads me to another it could go either way scenario for me. This is, I think, Orlando, which is Central Florida, is one of the most tourist visited places in the world.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So the amount of tourists that come through this area is just huge. So many people. Um, I mean, that's great for industry and service industry. I think is one of the strongest here as far as Central Florida goes. But it brings all that other stuff with it, like bad drivers and and we really don't have another strong industry, I would say,
Yeah.
besides service and tourism,
This is
real estate, that type of stuff.
yeah, I feel like this is the major economic problem with Central Florida. We rely on low wage jobs. We don't have enough low income housing, so it makes it really difficult for a lot of people to make it here.
Yeah, it's such a it's a tough problem to solve. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I don't know how you attract, tech industries or entertainment, high paying entertainment jobs or whatever. It's tough.
Well, I know they're trying, and things that they're trying to look forward to at the future of Florida. But tell me more about maybe what some of your plans are for the future of living here. What do you hope to accomplish or get out of living in Florida in the future?
I would really like to living here. I would like to start kind of a documentary series that's local. Most of my jobs come from outside of Florida, and I would really like to do some local work, like dealing with some real issues in Central Florida. So I think maybe like second half of the year, I might start trying to work on that.
Ooh, that's cool.
Because I mean, we'll probably be here for a few more years, and it's all of my wife's family is in the Pacific Northwest. All of my family's here, so we're either gonna end up here or there. Right now we're here. We'll see if we end up there.
Like you're gonna trade some time
In the next few years. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that makes sense. Yes.
But while I'm here, I would like to do some real local work, which I haven't been able to do yet. So yeah, I think that's the main thing I want to do. How about you?
I really want to explore some of the natural sides of Florida, like I was talking about before. So
Yeah.
my main thing is really getting more into photography, wildlife photography. Use this as a hub to travel to other places like Costa Rica.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be here forever. It's definitely one of those scenarios where it would be lovely to explore a different, I guess maybe even just a change of pace. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But while I'm here, I'm going to start exploring more of, everything that Florida has to offer, and then expand from there. I don't feel like I've traveled a ton in my life, so I think I'm ready to do that.
Yeah, you got to travel.
And with camera in hand,
yeah,
I've got new motivation.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome. I've been very lucky to travel a bit, mostly for work.
Yes.
But I've been very, very lucky.
That is awesome.
In that, yeah. I'm not even sure. It's not that many, but like maybe 20 or 30 countries.
Wow, that's great.
Like that. It's getting up there.
Yeah. Keep going, man.
Yeah.
That's like the spice of life it can be.
Oh, that's amazing. As long as you don't get sick.
Right.
It's amazing. Oh man. What are your top destinations you want? You talked about a little bit, I guess.
I've never been to Europe.
Okay.
And there's just so much there.
Yeah.
The history alone, you could spend, I don't know, months, easily years exploring Europe. So that I think is very interesting for me. Another thing is, like, I follow some photographers and videographers, people on Instagram that live in Canada.
Oh, wow.
And the wildlife and the nature in Canada is just insane. Like, really amazing stuff. So that to me seems interesting. South America, Like, I feel like that's well within reach
Mm-hmm.
because living in Florida makes it a fairly quick trip. I've been to Costa Rica. I'm ready to go back and explore more of the wildlife there. It's supposedly one of the most diverse wildlife locations on the planet. So,
That's cool.
yeah, yeah. And with that, something like in Australia or Africa, some of the more classical
Yeah.
places you would go for wildlife photography anyway,
Yeah.
would be really, really cool.
Yeah. Africa. Oh, Africa. I like Africa.
Yeah.
I never really wanted to go, and then I got sent there for work. And I got there and I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Luckily I got sent back 5 times or so.
Nice.
I've been to Malawi, I think 3 times, and then Chad, Botswana, and South Africa.
Wow.
And we got to do one decent like day safari in Malawi.
Oh, nice.
And it's cool. I mean, it's in a park, but it's like a reverse zoo. It's like you're the one in the cage.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you stay like in a little, we had a nice little house we were staying at. And as soon as you get there, they're like, so after dark, make sure you call and get a guard to walk you to the restaurant when you're coming to the restaurant.
Oh, my goodness.
And you got to call and an armed guard comes, walks you over there just in case. Cause there's everything out there.
It's literally, yeah.
But it was
crazy.
It was really cool. There was a watering hole in the distance, and as soon as the sun
man.
started going down, like just the animals just all came in. It was incredible. You should go there and take your 800mm lens.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am ready. Well, anything else you want to cover?
I feel like we have to address Florida Man.
Well, I think that's a great way to end.
I think what kind of feeling, like when you see other people, it's totally like making fun of Florida. Right? I don't mind it that much. Every now and then it gets a little annoying maybe, but how do you react to all the Florida Man stuff?
I guess I kind of react a little bit like everyone else in the world who's laughing at Florida.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I've accepted that I actually live here.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, aren't these people crazy?
Yeah.
Well, I'm one of those people. But yeah, like, how are this many crazy people living in Florida?
So this is my theory. Living a few places, I think people are crazy everywhere.
Okay.
But Florida traditionally has these laws called sunshine laws. So it's really easy, and historically it's been very easy to get things like police records, especially for journalists, right?
I
so
see.
if you need a quick story, like a quick sensationalized story, it's very easy to go and access records in Florida for all this crazy stuff.
And we have a new Florida Man headline.
And yeah, that's how I think it got started.
I see. That makes sense.
That being said, I think Florida probably does produce more craziness than most places. But it's not like an outlier to the extent that everyone thinks it is.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But there are some things that go on here that you just have to like shake your head and be
all the time. All the time.
Like, what? Yeah.
Oh,
it's too much to even list, but it's insane.
It is insane. Yeah, just Google it. Find your favorite Florida Man memes.
There you go. And that is living in Florida.
That's it. Some bad, a lot of good.
A lot of funny.
Yeah. All right. I think that'll do it for this episode.
It's been fun. It's been real.
Yes.
It's almost been real fun.
Almost real fun. One day.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. I'm Stefan.
I'm Mike. Until next time.
ya.